News at 7 continues now.
Well, after 12 years, the hit CBS sitcom The Big Bang Theory has transformed geek into chic. As the Emmy-winning series comes to a close, we talk to the Chattanooga community about its cultural impact. News 7's Angela Moryan joins us live in the studio with the details on that. Angela?
Thanks, John. The Big Bang Theory is the longest-running multicam sitcom in history, surpassing the classic Cheers. However, Big Bang is more than just a successful sitcom. With 4 geeky nerds as main characters, the show has turned taboo into trendy.
Show started, I was asked for years, do you like The Big Bang Theory? Have you watched The Big Bang Theory? I'm a physics professor, I'm a physicist, I have a PhD in physics, so I am, I guess, exactly like those guys on TV. I kind of feel like I'm living that life to a certain extent.
The Big Bang Theory has exploded into tens of millions of households over 12 seasons, but the show is more than just one-liners and Sheldon Cooper.
I really feel like The Big Bang Theory opened up people's perception about scientists. Nerdiness can be kind of quirky and kind of cool.
The show's been really good about just exposing different cultures to the world. We no longer have the sense of, like, if you want to play D&D with your friends, like, you don't have to, like, keep it a secret now over threat of being shoved in a locker.
Big Bang dedicates entire episodes to comic books, superheroes, video games, even Star Trek, without turning off those not so nerdy.
Even if a person wasn't a fan, they could watch the show and be like, I know superheroes, I know Batman.
I'm Batman.
They were really cool at staying relatable to an audience, as well as touching on some things that, you know, maybe a fan would know a little bit deeper.
The show has stayed relatable to an average of more than 16 million viewers a season, while changing the pop culture image of a nerd.
I think some of the biggest impacts it has had is that people can look at scientists and see them as humans, as people with real lives, real families, real jobs that aren't necessarily centered around a lab rat.
What do you want me to do? Smile.
It kind of humanizes these people. You know, I'm just a regular guy. I'm a dad. You know, I'm a professor here as well. But I'm, you know, I like to laugh. I have hobbies, and I think it shows that side very well, that we are real people. We're not robots.
But the resounding message is, it's okay to be yourself.
It's okay to be a geek. If you're a geek, you can be okay with that. And I think this show really helped to kind of mainstream that geekiness, to kind of make it cool. Yeah, you can be smart and you can be nerdy, but you can also be cool at the same time. And I think The Big Bang Theory really brought that to the forefront.
The series ends this Thursday right here on News 12. But the lives of Sheldon, Leonard, and Howard and Raj will live on in TV history for breaking stereotypes, one bazinga at a time. Reporting live in the studio, Angela Moryan, News 12 Now.
Prime News at 7 continues now.
It spanned 12 years, 12 seasons, and 279 episodes. The Big Bang Theory TV show is coming to an end with the series finale tomorrow night. One character on the show fans will miss most is Sheldon Cooper. They say he's unique, but in a good way, and that's why he can be a great role model for some on the spectrum.
So, a few things don't go your way, and your best decision is to ride the rails like a hobo?
I suppose it is. Except I have a credit card, and I refuse to carry my laptop at the end of a stick.
Some say Sheldon Cooper shows characteristics of someone with Asperger's syndrome. The writers of The Big Bang Theory never directly say Sheldon has autism, but some say it's not hard to catch on.
We have loved The Big Bang Theory. We've grown up with all of those characters. We've watched them get married, have children. We've gotten married and had children. And now we have Braden, and he is more and more like Sheldon every day, and we think that his diagnosis is a part of that.
Lori and Jordan Eismeyer learned their 4-year-old son, Braden, was autistic when he was 2. Lori believes her husband might also be on the spectrum, but he hasn't been diagnosed. Jordan says his boss recently compared him to Sheldon at work while he was presenting his own data findings.
I was presenting some things that were mathematical in ways that he had never thought of before, and he just was kind of blown away by it. And he said, "You're a Sheldon Cooper. You know, when I tell people about you, I tell them that I have a Sheldon Cooper that works for me." And I asked, "Do you have a Sheldon Cooper? Because that's you in this company."
The Eismeyers say they've really dissected Sheldon's character since learning Braden has autism. They're very similar.
Braden loves to be right. Braden loves to tell other people what to do, especially his brother and sister. He is so focused on rules, and that makes him easier and harder to parent. If we do something out of order, say at breakfast time, oh my gosh, the world has ended. But as long as we stick to the script that we've made for him, he thrives.
She says that's exactly how Sheldon is on the TV show.
Initial here. All right, that's television and movies. Section 9, miscellany.
He prints off and hands out his schedule to his roommates every day so that they know when the bathroom's going to be occupied and when everybody eats and what they're going to eat every day. And I can see a lot of Braden there too.
The thing I picked up about Sheldon is he was obsessive about things, and I never really, identified him as autistic or anything like that, but he was obsessive about things, and I think that may be one of the characteristics of autism.
Retired special education teacher Mike Carter says he's been watching The Big Bang Theory for a few years now and used to sometimes play the show for some of his students during their lunch break.
They liked it just like we did,
Autistic or not, many fans feel they can relate to Sheldon. That's why so many people love his character on the show.
He's very driven, and I think anybody could identify with his drive. So, I think he's a good role model.
It'll be nice for him to know that there are figures in the media he can relate to directly. And Sheldon Cooper is not the only one who exhibits autistic tendencies without ever outright saying it. We see that on a few other shows too, and it's exciting that Braden will have someone to look up to like that.
Both the Eismeyers and Carter believe Sheldon's character is great for raising awareness about autism, since the disorder impacts so many people.
I think people, if they didn't even know anything about autism, they would notice that since you're focusing on him personally, that he's a little different. And I think, yes, it might, if they could identify, if they knew, if it was defined as, well, he's on the spectrum, then yes, they would see and become more knowledgeable about autism.
Hulk agreed to second date with beauty humans.
And more sensitive to autism.
You can't wear the hands on the date.
And you can catch the series finale of The Big Bang Theory tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time right here on CBS. You don't want to miss it.
Prime News at 7 continues now.
For 12 years, the characters of The Big Bang Theory have given us laughter, joy, and inspiration. News House Kaylee Nix is here with a look at how two of the characters have helped shape ideas about women succeeding in science.
When we see female characters who are doing awesome things, it makes me want to do awesome things too.
Ella Harris is only in middle school, but she credits her success in advanced math and sciences to reading about and watching other women doing well in STEM fields while being portrayed as real, relatable characters.
When you can relate to someone, that sort of helps you to have the strength to do something even when it's way more difficult than it should be for you.
In The Big Bang Theory, Amy and Bernadette's characters battle the stigma of being judged on their looks instead of their work.
What exactly are you doing?
Determining baseline fear levels in capuchin monkeys by measuring their response to visual stimuli.
So goofing off.
That's something that teachers want to see more of.
The only time I see excited and beautiful women in science on the TV is when it's for really young kids. And so I think for high school and college age kids, it'd be so great if we could see more women who can talk at a high level, at a high academic level about science and still be passionate and still be excited and, you know, but not necessarily be condescending.
We want our girls to be exposed in the media to problem solvers, creative thinkers, collaborators, really great communicators, public speakers, and there are so many of those out there.
Meteorologist and author Ginger Z hopes to be one of those inspiring female science presences through her book series, Chasing Helicity.
I feel like this is the time for a female scientist to be the lead of science and the face of science, and I'd love to be her.
Because she believes the best way to get girls to believe that they can succeed is through firsthand experience of watching others' success.
If you see it, you can envision it. It's much more difficult for somebody to say, well, I know I really like this. I think that, you know, whenever I've seen clouds, it's interesting to me. What am I going to do with that? It's great to have a character or an actual person to look up to.
But inspiration doesn't come from just scientists.
There are other women that are doing phenomenal things in the world in terms of STEM and humanities, and pay attention to them. Pay attention to the difference that they're making in the lives of others.
Personal successes that the characters in the show find can also serve as a reminder that in the end, we choose our own happiness.
It's important for women to see not only women like other women in the STEM field, but also other women making that choice to be whatever makes them happy.
Prime News at 7 continues now.
You probably heard it's often been said that in relationships, opposites attract. Now, that phrase has been the subject of countless songs, movies, and television shows, including The Big Bang Theory right here on CBS. But do opposites really attract? Well, News 12's Dorothy Sherman sat down with a few experts to find out.
And she's genuinely proud.
No relationship says opposites attract quite like The Big Bang Theory's Leonard and Penny. She is a bubbly, aspiring actress and he is a nerdy physicist. But this opposites attract scenario might be closer to fiction than real life.
Generally, no. Opposites are not really going to attract. There's a lot more support for the idea of kind of similarity, at least to some degree, attracting. And this can be either in kind of like true, like actual similarity, or either also in like a perceived similarity. So if I think you're like me.
Kate Rogers is an assistant psychology professor at UTC.
Usually when they're talking about similarity, like they're talking kind of broadly across like personality, attitudes, values, even kind of like how you look physically, hobbies, all of that sort of stuff.
Rogers says even couples who are different may become similar in the long run.
There is evidence that people who are more different than each other when they get married or start that relationship actually change more and become more similar over time. Whereas people who start out pretty similar don't change as much.
We tend to go for somebody that we kind of think would be in our tribe.
Dr. Carol Stoney is a couples therapist. She says when it comes to having a happy relationship, what matters is how couples deal with their differences.
Really, the art for couples in their differences is to figure out how are we going to negotiate those differences? How are we going to talk about that in a way that both of us feel loved and respected? And that's where people can get stuck.
Dr. Stoney says while a couple may disagree on views like religion and politics, it doesn't mean they don't have a good relationship.
So it's not likely, but it's very possible. If this couple knows how to have a secure attachment with each other, absolutely they have room for all those differences. So if I feel connected to my partner, I'm not going to be telling stories about it, what it means for him to have different beliefs than I do.
As for Leonard and Penny, they learn to work through their differences and end up tying the knot twice. For News 12 Now, I'm Dorothy Sherman.
Now, experts agree that there are exceptions when it comes to love, but many people have actually taken to our Facebook page to tell us about how their significant other is different from them. I want to thank you for sharing all of those stories.